Yo, 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 what it do, what it do? What's happening, what's happening, what's happening, what's happening, what's happening, what's happening, what's happening? One Piece chapter 1177, man. It's been a One Piece week for the most part. How he feeling, how he feeling, how he feeling? Uh, Last chapter was an interesting one. Interesting chapter. A bunch of varying opinions. You know what I'm saying? Then we had the live action drop. We got One Piece back next month. Yo, Spice want to join fam. Appreciate you, Spice. What's up, Clyde? What's up, Andres? What up, Wheezy? What up, football guy? What up, B? Scatter. It's an interesting chapter. Okay. Somebody's like, a lot of people like the chapter. Okay. Koada. 42 months. I appreciate you, Koada. We do got to talk, though. We do got to talk, man. We do got to talk. After the chapter. How feel about the OPLA? The first episode, I thought. Here's the thing, bro. First episode, I thought was good, was great actually, and I didn't think Iñaki had the best performance in the first episode. I didn't like the plot point of how well. I didn't like how some of the action sequences were with him, with Luffy, mostly because Luffy just looked like trash. But I thought everything else around that was great. The action sequences with Alvida, I thought were poor. Other than that, I think the smoker scene was fantastic. I thought everybody else was just fantastic. Fantastic episode overall. Episode 2 and 3, amazing. Episode 2 and 3 really great. They basically focused. I think episode 3 was basically Zoro, just Zoro's fight. They did, of course, switch things around a little bit. They changed. I again, I think with when it gets to power scaling and consistency, Luffy doesn't feel like he did in the anime or in the manga. He, I, Zoro feels like the guy on that crew, but he's had a lot of action sequences and he's kind of stepped up more than anybody. Them running away from Mr. Five and them, it felt, why are we running away? That's how I felt. Like, okay, why are we running away when Luffy barely fought anybody and he's stronger than Zoro, or should be stronger than Zoro, and now we're running away from two of these characters. But I think it's more consistent with what happens between Luffy and Smoker, or Luffy and Crocodile the initial time in Alabasta. So they're kind of upscaling everybody for the most part. And personally, I think they're doing the thing where they're trying to, and again, I don't know. They're trying to maybe conserve the use of rubber and Luffy's devil fruit, because I think it's just very difficult to pull off. So they kind of focus on other aspects and only use it when it's absolutely necessary. And just story consistency wise, it feels like Zoro is, you know, um, and Luffy's just used when needed. Feels like he's more of an emotional. He's emotionally impactful as opposed to just how much he brings to the table as a combatant, which is different. Which is different, but yo, Heavenly King Summers, yo, with a 41 months, say hello, fellow saints. It's good to see everyone. Brother Braga, my week has been sour. I lost my mother a few days ago. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm sorry to hear that, man. My condolences, man. My condolences, yo. My condolences. Dang, bro. Um, I hope you're surrounded by family and love, and you have people that can, provide that support that that can get you through a tough time like this. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. So yeah, man, my condolences, Brody. Um, yeah, that's tough. Let's try to use this chapter, get our minds off things for a little bit. I mean, that's kind of the purpose, you know what I'm saying? That's why we love One Piece. Every week we can kind of lock in, just delve into that world and just lose ourselves a little bit. So, my condolences, brother. Jets fan. Can't say for the review, but this chapter is gas, gas. 11 out of 10 is for Oda be in the chat. Let's see. Let's see if Oda be in the chat. Let's see if Oda's checking in. Let's see if Oda's checking in. Man. Let's see if he's checking in. Raise to the 41 celebrate. Yo, what's up, Brody? What's up, Race? How you feeling? Diaz. Just got a reminder. I have a mandatory meeting for work in 5 minutes. Tragic timing. Side note, condolences to bros. Condolences, bro. Condolences. Um, that's tough. They need to make it where Luffy uses fruit casually. Like he was in a bakery, he leaned over to grab food instead of stretching his arm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Make it like I thought when they had him stretch his arm over to Laboon or try to hit Laboon, that looked really good. So it's been some good spots, but you can tell that they're somewhat trying to conserve it. You watched that last Frieren episode? Did I watch the last Frieren episode? All right, this might seem like a hot take, but this is where I am with Frieren. This is where I am with Frieren. This is where I am with Frieren, y'all. And I might be ahead of the curve, or it might just be a bad take. It might age horribly. But Frieren feels like, and just as far as overall, to me, it feels like our, not our, but a modern, not story wise, but I'm talking about the package. It feels like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. As far as consistency, characters, action, development, story, animation, it is literally just consistent in every single aspect. Every single aspect you could want from an anime, that's what Frieren has been for season 1 and season 2. I know that's lofty. That's lofty praise. Lofty praise for Frieren. But well, like Scat, I'm not gonna lie. If I had to pick an anime as the best anime of all time, it'd be FMAB. And so comparing Frieren to that is crazy. But man, it is so consistent. The characters are so good. I'm not gonna lie. Genau, bro, he's a super side character. Super side character, and that is my guy. No, I love the Revolte fight. Again, it's just consistent all around. It's consistent all around. So nah, Frieren is one of those for me. I'm not. It's not in my top 10 yet. I think I just need more from it just to see how season 2 ends. But it's climbing for me. It's climbing for me. One battle after another. Frodo is saying, "Why don't I love it?" I I, I don't hate one battle after another. Okay, I don't hate it. I actually liked the movie. Um, I think my take for one battle after another was maybe a bit too mature. Like I'm not just coming at it from the perspective of a movie watcher. It's also looking at it as uh like Tiana Taylor's character. And I think that really, really bothered me just with the intro of the movie. Right? Didn't like her character. You know, didn't vibe with it. And then I feel like the story was rather simple. But I listen, I don't think it was a terrible movie. I enjoyed the movie. Oscar winning? I don't know. I don't know. We're rewatching it tomorrow, so we're gonna get some more eyes on One Battle After. Well, we're rewatching or watching all of the Oscar movies. One Battle After Another this week, Sinners next week. Then we're gonna watch Hamnet, like all those movies. So, um, Leo got robbed. No shot. No shot. I don't think as far as Leo's performances, his performance in One Battle After Another, it's not even top 5. So you think Sinners? I think Sinners probably should have won. I think Sinners probably should have won. I do think Marty Supreme was the worst movie out of those three, but I do think Timothy Chalamet probably had the best performance. I do think Michael B. Jordan had the hardest job, but I do think Leo elevated his movie the most because without Leo, without Sean Penn, this is One Battle After Another is like a BET movie. But yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get to the chapter though. We'll talk. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. The Rock got robbed. I'm sure that's how Sai feels. Kind of wanted Leo to win. The crazy part is I think Leo is one of those actors that it doesn't matter how many Oscars he has or Oscars he's lost. I think in general he's regarded as one of the best actors of all time, regardless of how many Oscars he wins. Benicio, Benicio, I would say is he had the best performance in the movie, and he wasn't in the movie that long. But I think every time he was on screen, he kind of took control of the screen, and he stood out in so many ways. Where I just wanted Sensei back on screen. So I said Benicio had the most impactful performance. Um, so I didn't mind that nomination. Michael B. Jordan was even the best in Sinners. What are you gonna say? Delroy Lindo is the best in Sinners. I'm seeing people say that. He was in such a small role, and I don't think he was as impactful as Benicio. So it's just you can say he had the best performance, but he's in like a really really small role. But I mean that's supporting actor. Chase Infinity. I mean she was good. She was good. She was I she was good. I mean that being her first role, she was great. I believe that's her first role. She was great. But I think the glaze is more so happening because of her being good in the movie, but also her just being beautiful. So it's just it kind of feels like when Jennifer Lawrence popped out, you know. So you just said that about Del Toro. No, no, no. But Benicio del Toro, he had the most impactful performance in one battle after another. I don't feel like um, Delroy Lindo's character had the most impactful performance in Sinners at all. So, there's a difference there. I mean, that's why I believe what it, see, you say y'all talking Chase Infinity fine ass. Yeah. Yo, J2 joined fam. I appreciate you, J2. I'm intrigued for this chapter though. Would literally be glazed hell if a YT man played smoke and stack. MPJ earned his flowers. I think he had the hardest job. I mean, Scatters. I think Scatter was saying they didn't feel like different characters. Felt like completely different characters to me. Um, yeah, Sean Penn won Best Supporting. Colonel Lockjaw. I thought he was great in the movie. Weird, eccentric. I think he did his part. Uh, I think he either him or Benicio, but he was in the movie longer, had more of an impact. So yeah, the Timothy Chalamet online hate. I'm not gonna say it's justified, but I would say that I get it. I would say I get it. I here's the thing with Timothy Chalamet. A lot of people are saying he's on the Leo trajectory, right? Here's what I'd say. Because I did see a few statements that he made about his performance in Marty Supreme and the acting that he's been doing lately, and I think he's smelling the flowers a bit too soon, right? I think he got to still just stay locked in. Like you can't, like he's celebrating himself almost, right? I think he's celebrating himself almost a bit too soon, where it's you almost. I mean, and it's almost a contradictory statement because sometimes they say, "Yo, you got to celebrate yourself. You got to, necessarily wait for people to do it for you, but you kind of just got to let it come." Like I feel like he's trying to will it into existence as opposed to like letting it happen. And I'm not gonna say they punished him for because his comments came out after the voting, I believe. But it is he's feeling himself a little bit. It is overreaction, but I understand it. But he's kind of feeling himself a little bit. But I loved his performance in Marty Supreme. Easily the worst movie of the three, but I think his performance was outstanding. But it's just when you're when people start comparing you to the likes of Leonardo DiCaprio, people start having certain expectations. And when you start speaking to some of those expectations, it it it, it sets you up for failure almost. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I think he's approaching it like an athlete would. It's like I want to be the best. I'm going to do this to be the best, and it's just with that world, that art, it's so much that's not in your control, right? It's so much that you can't control. So it's just you know, and then I think he's kind of too visible too. Personally, that's kind of my thing. He's dating a Kardashian, you know. Leo just gets his chicks at 21. They get to 25. He gets a new one. He just stays out the way. Hey, You know. Yeah. Yeah, I think humility goes a long way. And I'm not saying he's, too braggadocious. I just think, you know, I can see some voters saying, we can't crown this little nigga too soon. We can't. It's gonna go to his head. We can't. We can't. We can't. We just. So I think as far as young actors, but yeah, yeah, he's too visible. I see him too much, too much, too much. I haven't watched the Dune trailer yet. Like I told you how I felt about Dune. I thought one was fantastic. I thought two was pretty good. I'm excited for three, but I I'd say this, bro. I I knew some people that did ballet that that did ballet and and I've gone to a few ballet recitals. It's not really my thing, but the work that's put in to not only to setting up these recitals, but to just make it happen is super. It's expensive. It's dedication. It's a lot of work that goes into an art that honestly, like, it's niche, right? But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of dedication. I can understand the outrage around it. We still in the yap section. One. We still in the yap section. We about to get a chapter right now. Yeah, I gotta hurry up. Let's go. Let's get to the chapter. So I don't care about Dune. Like I said, the rewatch is gonna happen before we get to three. Maybe I have a different feeling for it. I'm excited for Dune 3. If I compare my excitement for Dune 3 in comparison to like Avengers Endgame or Infinity War, with Endgame it was like a 10. With Dune it's like a 6. So but I know a lot of people love Dune, so that's just how I feel about it. I haven't watched the Spider-Man trailer either. I just think entertainers aren't able to have real star power anymore. Media channels were so concentrated back in the day, people had to pay attention. I just saw an interview with Ben Affleck talking about that, how YouTube is actually taking away a lot of viewers when it comes to movies and going to theaters, etc. So I don't think, and and we have more stars than we did back in the day because of the rise of social media. There are a ton more people that people watch and that people are famous. I think it's been a lot more disrespect to entertainers and creators because a lot of people feel like I can make it in another way, so why should I respect you? I see a lot more disrespect nowadays to like people that's done things for a long time. And people are like, oh, I don't give a shit. I got a million TikTok followers. What can you tell me? It's just like, so I don't think many things are cherished like they were in the past anyway, in general. So, you know, I think even movie stars are viewed differently. Where most movies today aren't just carried by the star. There are few people today that can just be in the movie, if anybody today, honestly, can just be in the movie and it be a blockbuster. People are it's a different era now. Like Will Smith has had flops, Denzel's had flops, Leo's had flops. It's different. It's different. That's why Marvel won't quit because Marvel understands like what people for the most part will pay to see. But I think even they lost their way and got a bit too greedy, maybe a bit overzealous after the success of Infinity War and just the whole lead up to that. And they wanted to replicate that too soon. And spread themselves too thin through the TV shows and all these other projects. Um, and so, you know, it's it's different. Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. Was in movies after Iron Man. He did that movie with Melissa McCartney, right? He did like McCarthy, I think her name Melissa McCarthy. He did like Robert Downey has done movies that nobody went to watch. Yeah, art isn't respected the same. I think art isn't respected the same. I think a lot of people just look at it as like, all right, you famous, so what? I think it's not to this extreme, but sometimes how people the conversation about parents where people are like, I mean, I didn't ask to be here. Some of those conversation points, I'm just like, yeah, Sherlock Holmes. So it's like, nah, I think it's more again the I think the superstars we still have today, like him, like him or not, The Rock, right? If The Rock's name's attached to something, it's gonna generate interest. Denzel Washington, Leonardo DiCaprio. Um, at this point, you gotta somewhat start elevating Michael B. Jordan, right? You got to start elevating Michael B. Jordan into that stratosphere a little bit. Um, Tom Cruise, yeah, Tom Cruise. So it's just a different world. It's just we're in a different era now. So that's why we get movies with Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Tiana Taylor, and it's like a straight to Netflix movie. You know, so I and I do think a different aspect, like people have found their niches where it's like I'm interested for that niche. Like Jason Statham, he knows his lane and he stays there. Liam Neeson for the most part, and so like we watch those movies for those specific lanes. So you know, Leo's just the goat. I've been watching more movies lately, um, because people have like talked about certain actors. I'm like, all right, let me go back and just experience the catalog. We talked about Daniel Day Lewis and Gene Hackman and Jack Nicholson. Um, so just I don't have a strong take on a lot of these guys yet. I got to watch some more, but eventually we'll talk about it. Jason Statham plays the same character. He knows his lane. He knows his lane. I watched. I think Shelter was the last movie I watched. It's the same movie. It's the same damn movie with Jason Statham, but it's good. I like Liam Neeson movies, man. They make me feel good. Bomba mentality. All right, we gotta go. We gotta go. It's been too much yap. Bomba mentality. Uh Here's what I say. 83 is 83. Uh it just looks different. It just looks different. Over 40 free throws. You're 7 for 20 from 3. Your team is fouling to get you more possessions. I think Bam in general is just like an awkward basketball player. And he hasn't honestly Bam is a great player, right? A great NBA player, solid NBA player. I was talking to somebody. I said if you asked me to make a guess or a bet, right, as to somebody who could break Kobe's record in the league right now, and I think we both agreed Bam wouldn't be in our top 50. And so for Bam to go get 83 and into the fashion that he did it, it's like one of those dudes that can shoot, but the shot ugly. You're like, oh, shit going in though. And so, and again, as a Kobe fan, you feel like The immediate outrage is like that nigga didn't. You like that dude? What? Right? And so that's the initial feeling. And it's like, all right, it is what it is. So I have my feelings about it, but I'm not gonna take away from the 83. But it's like when somebody dropped 50. I think it was, I forgot that dude that was on the Pistons, he dropped 50, right? And it's like, what the hell? Who is this guy? So it's just, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So to be honest, bro, I don't watch the NBA as much as I used to, but I say this is just a product of bad NBA. Just bad NBA basketball. Positionless basketball. Got niggas like Bam think he should be dropping 80. Nah, I'm playing. I'm playing. I don't really I don't really care that much on the other side where I'm like, oh my god, this is a travesty. Because I don't care that much about NBA basketball anymore. But when you talk about Bam's 83, it's not gonna be like, man, you had to be there. Like, you know? It's one of those where it's just like, man, Nick scored 83. Yeah. You know? It's like when Bomba mentality is crazy. 83 is 83, I guess. I think with the NBA, they need to, if y'all really going this positionless basketball, you need that one-on-one tournament for the All-Star game. Get rid of the dunk contest because these niggas don't want to dunk. Keep the three-point contest. More skills things, right? More skills things. More skill-based. I think a one-on-one competition would be fantastic. Have different classes. As far as like small guard, wings, and big men. No big men. We don't care about these big niggas playing 1-on-1, to be honest. But bam! Come on, bro. Ain't nobody saying that. All right, man. The 1v1 needs weight classes, though. No, I think so. No, it does. Dribble max. I think you do 4 dribbles. I think you do 4 dribbles. I know how NBA players are. How NBA players are, they probably do shot clock, like a 7-second shot clock or something like that, because they probably want more room to operate. A lot of people players too prideful to participate in 1-on-1s. I think the first year is going to be rough. I would not want to see Joel Embiid run the ones. No, no, no. I don't want to see Joel Embiid run the ones. No, because Joel Embiid should not be wanting to run the ones at all. Out of bio. Shout out to Bam, man. That's big. That's big. That's big. But let's get to the chapter, man. Angela said, "Here go Brago with the old head take, bro. I really don't. I really don't care about Bam dropping 83. But can Braun still win 1v1s? All right, because Braun will be in the class the six. I want to say the 6'5" to 6. Okay, because do we put 6'5"? 6'5" is not a small guard. So I want to say like small guard would be like 6'5" 11" to 6'3", and then 6'4" to 6'8". and then big guys are like 6'9" and up. So Braun will be playing against like Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum might sneak in there. KD is tough because they say KD's 6'10", so he might be with the big men. But I'd want to see KD with the wings. So you know, get off my boy Joel. I don't hate Joel. I just think his body ain't made for that. Kyrie be doing the Lord's work. I think Kyrie would not participate year one, especially coming off the injury. We'd probably see more like Peyton Pritchard, Jamal Murray, right? Like those guys would probably jump in it. I think a lot of the younger guys would too. And I think some older guys, I think Mike Conley would probably participate. Guys that are over the hill, so they don't have much to prove, but because they're over the hill, they want to prove something. I think LeBron might participate, but he's going to bullshit. I think Jason Tatum might channel his Mamba mentality and come out there with the leg sleeve and the armband. And, it would be funny if it was a final between him and Jaylen Brown, right? Him versus Jaylen Brown in the final. Hey, man, whoever wins, that's whose team it is. Cooper Flag in there. You know what I'm saying? I think the young guys would participate for sure. Like, because especially, but here's the thing. We don't want no bums. When I say bums in the NBA, of course it's relative, right? But I don't want no, like, end of the bench niggas being like, yo, I'm in. Nah. Like, Cade got hurt, unfortunately, recently. But I mean, by next All-Star game, you know what I'm saying? Cade being a part of that. I wanted a man and a SAR. Niggas like that, bro. Low key, I want Dylan Brooks in there too. Yo, put Pat Bev on a team so he can play. Yo, Brago try to pass in the 1v1. It was the best play. Just throw it out of bounds. No bad shots. But all right. One Piece chapter 1177, Fury. I don't got that much time left. I gotta go. Cam Thomas be like, this is my time. This is my time to shine. It'd be fun. I'd tune in. I'd tune in more than that, more for that in the dunk contest. But they gotta have the appropriate structure though. Don't just let these niggas dribble forever. Dribble limit, right? Rules. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want no sparring session where niggas just going out there and bullshitting. Like, nah, bro. That's all right. Chapter 1177 Fury. All right, cover art request by Mrs. Fujin? Robin planting flowers in a mole-made flower bed. Okay. Money on the line. Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be money line. It's definitely gonna be money on the line. I think y'all also let fans bet on those games. Let fans bet on these one-on-ones. Shit. If you're gonna do it, do it. Chapter 1177. Here we go. Elbath West Village. Oh, I didn't say anything about the cover story. I don't know. It's not much to say. Robin's kawaii. Desune. But, cool. Bro, I've been telling you all these cover art requests are not real. All these people are not real people. Notice Skywalker. All these people are not real people. Oda made him up so he can draw whatever he wants to draw. I like it. I see the vision. I respect it, but these ain't real people. Here we go. Elbath, West Village. Not good. Hurry. Cool, the giant warrior pirates are fighting. I've got a bad feeling about this. Get inside. You mustn't look. Yo, Colin's like, this is lit. You've got to come back to us, chiefs. Unlimited strength and bodies that regenerate. Nothing beats this invincible feeling. It's so liberating. Wait, so yeah, well, Colin's generation obviously they're evolving. They're going to be the best generation so far because they're going to have smarts and they're going to be skilled. So they're the future of Elbaf, and they're seeing in real time the benefits of being a warrior and seeing true warriors in action. So it's perfect. But okay, so these warriors that are still reverse seed, it's like how sentient are they? Right? How sentient are they? Like have a taste of our power, Captain Dory. To think that the fiercely proud giant warrior pirates would succumb to this. Nigga, huh? He got yo. He got turned, and he just forgot what happened. You succumbed to it, even though you overcame it, but still. Shame on you all, you damn idiots. Sunrealm near the lift choppers group. Stop this. We're comrades. We fought side by side. I can't bring myself to hurt you guys. DDT, Rhodes. You don't want to cut us down? What an excuse. Join us, Kashi. Having an invincible body's the best. You can't bring yourself to hurt us? As if you could even if you wanted. I dare you to try. Yeah, I thought they all went the other way. Kashi, if you get caught between them, you'll turn into a demon too. Kashi, you've got to fight. It's impossible. We've been friends forever. Yeah, it feels like Reversey is more so influencing their thoughts because it's making them stronger. I can't hurt them. Hey, Antonio, we've been buddies for a long time and you never change. Whenever you ask for just one bite, you're always going to eat half of it. Sorry, Chief. Gungear. Ikaku sovereignty. Gigantic drum. Three. Damn, Zoro? Three sword style. Red ogre. Mega. All right. Yo. Damn. Hold back a little bit. That fatal strike was a real beauty. Don't worry about a thing, guys. This won't kill you. Is it me, or do they seem giddy about this? I think um if I was on a crew like the Straw Hats and somebody get dome reversied and I finally get a chance to go all out against my crewmate, I'd be giddy too. Like that ass. Like, let's say Luffy got Dome Reversed, and Zoro finally had a chance to see if he could take down Luffy. I think Zoro would be excited. It's almost like this is different, but in Yu Yu Hakusho, you know what I'm saying? If one of them guys, they did fight already, but that's different. They already fought. But still, it's like an opportunity to kind of test your vessel. The fatal strike was a real beauty. Don't worry about a thing, guys. This won't kill you. Isn't me to do this? I'm giddy about this. Chopper's group. Run away, Kashi. Forgive me, I can't. Great, Scopper's fighting. Isn't Scopper still hurt? Knock it off, you jerk. I don't feel a thing. Oh. Huh? He turned back to normal? How? What? Black ball, yummy. You miserable dogs. Do you know what? Do you know that? Do you know the hell that's in, do you know the hell that's in store for plebs like you that dare defy the gods? Unhand me, fishman, you filthy. Blech. You bark a lot for someone in your position. If we box him up, he shouldn't be able to reattach everything, right? Thanks for the help, everyone. I guess that's one way to deal with these guys, but it's hard to believe these are the kinds of knights they have protecting the Holy Land. Yeah, how does that turn him back normal? I need some more I mean, obviously we're gonna get an explanation. I'm not sure if we get it this chapter, but how did a smack turn him normal? We've just gotten too strong for them, Sanji. Luffy's an emperor now, you feel me? Okay, Frankie. Yeah, I saw it. I know I saw the shadow behind the giant, but I'm like, what is that? What is going on? Chop, Chop has a super special devil fruit. You know what? I like Frankie's comments. Frankie seems to be echoing the sentiments of how the community feels. A lot of the community feels it's like the Straw Hats are just too strong right now. You know, we're Luffy's an emperor. You know, where it's like okay. As Sanji says, that's great and all, but it pisses me off to think that such vermin were allowed to terrorize Elbaf. Underestimate us while you can, maggots. There's still one more who hasn't taken any damage yet. Don't let your guards down. This fires keep breaking out all over Elbaf. Understood. For now, just keep the rain pouring. Got it. I'll give it my all. Hey, Nami, Sanji, Frankie, Jinbei. It's huge, like a sea king. Wait, if it's with you, don't tell me that's Loki. That's a buddy of yours? No way, that's so cool. Right? This guy's just too big. You've gone and made friends with another freak. I'm glad you beat the monsters, but seriously, that thing's breath is only feeding the flames. Don't you see? If you have to burn Elbaf to the ground to stop the bad guys, it defeats the whole point. So knock it off. Okay. I like that. I like this scene. Ratatosker is like, it's good. It's good. You got me in trouble, Loki. I just want to crush all the threats to Elbaf. Why the hell should I give a crap about your crewmates bitching? Oh, it's just lightning. Why didn't that work? I would have sent you flying if it did. Hmm? Usopp! Please flee! I came here for my own reasons. She's dangerous. Who would run and abandon a crewmate at a time like this? Brook. True warriors do not run. Usopp. I've always dreamed of visiting this place to come to the land I've admired. I won't disgrace myself, not here. Besides, I'm burning with fury right now. Brook, these guys, they're looking down on Elbaf. Their gutless plan was to sneak here and kidnap children. They don't use their own strength at all in this invasion. They relied on those monsters and hijacked the minds of all those proud warriors, trying to force them to slaughter each other. How dare you carry out such a cowardly and underhanded scheme, you shameless... Usopp! The warriors of Elbaf fight with their own swords and shields. They put their own lives on the line. They're a nation of warriors. If you want to conquer them, do it fair and square. Fight them head on, you spineless coward. Oh, this is tricky. Mm. 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 Let's finish it. A dominant ruler never sullies their own hands. Skull bomb, grass, fire! Usopp, Brook. It's her. She's the source of hockey we felt down in the realm of the dead. Ooh. Hey, Loki. I'm really pissed now. I wasn't planning on letting these guys off the hook anyway. Nika, Nidhogg, submit or perish. This battle shall divide the world. Ah, next chapter is going to be very, very pleasant. Um, Jesse said this Usopp cannot let live action Usopp show him up. No break is hype. Somebody's telling me it's going to be a break, but no break is great. No break is great. Uh, I'm struggling with the Usopp moment a little bit. I'm struggling with the Usopp moment, but what I'm struggling with is whether or not it's a fair assessment because it's a good moment. But can we have more? I and then with the moment, okay, okay, okay. I love this speech though. The speech is epic. It is funny coming from Usopp saying true warriors do not run. But I like him saying, I will not disgrace myself. Not here. He's like, yo, I know I do a bunch of crazy stuff. I know I say a bunch of things and do a lot of things. Not here. I'm not gonna disgrace myself here, which I respect. I respect. I respect. Uh Usopp shooting grass at top one. Emu downscale. No, I think it's a great moment. I think it's a great moment. I selfishly just want more. Selfishly, I wish. But here's the truth about the situation. Damn, Brooke got packed, which is not a surprise. Here's the truth about the situation. This is about as great as we can expect from Usopp versus someone like Emu. I know. I know. The people that hate power scaling are gonna say, well, how do we know Usopp can't beat Emu, right? You know. I you know, I because it was the whole conversation about power scaling and consistency on the timeline. I want to say a month ago at this point about anybody can beat anybody. Now power scaling is fan made and all this different stuff, which is BS at the end of the day. This goes back to the sugar can beat Kaido argument, so power scaling doesn't exist. And as I say before, power scaling is all about story consistency. Story consistency, stakes, tension. It's a part of that. It's a part of that to make it make sense, to give us something to look forward to, right? If at the end of the day it was no consistency when it comes to like a certain level of strength that we expect from an opponent, or not even strength, but level of effectiveness or danger from an opponent, then it would matter when it comes to the wrap up. So, if Usopp beats Emu here, that would be very unsatisfying for a lot of people. Usopp fans would love it, but I think Usopp should have a hand in the win for sure. I think Usopp should. However, um, Usopp can't be the only one to pack up Emu. It just story wise just doesn't make sense, right? That's why Oda implements small things like Law not being able to shambles Kaido, because Oda's establishing these tiers and these levels, saying this is something you have to overcome. What I don't like about people that don't like power scaling is they're trying to erase all these examples of story consistency, which builds and adds to a story. And this is outside of just One Piece. If you want to take it to Game of Thrones, right? There's certain things that are established, certain powers that are established, certain things you have to overcome, right? Of course, situationally, anybody can lose in the wrong situation, but I think that's besides the point. If there was anybody that could lose in any situation, then Luffy should have beat Smoker in Logtown. What's the point of having the establishment of hockey, right? What's the point of having Low get devil fruits that are intangible? These things matter where they're obstacles that present themselves to make the story more interesting. So yeah, in One Piece, Oda does Oda's famous for the use of caveats, but the caveats play a factor because of the established powers in the story. So I agree. I think people that power scale too much are annoying. I think they do take away from the story when that's the only thing that you're reading the story for. And if the story doesn't have any power scaling in it that week, then it's an ass chapter. Yes, those people should definitely be chastised and clowned. But I think the people that completely try to disregard power scaling and thinks this story doesn't, or thinks it's not valued and doesn't see it as a part of story, doesn't see it as a part of story consistency, should be chastised as well because you're just as inept. So I liked Usopp's moment here, and I think this is the best that we could have expected it to be. I do think some people are going to complain about just how abrupt it feels because we didn't see the build up to it. I was thinking back when I was reading the moment, I was thinking back to Usopp's moments in Elbaf so far, and just trying to make some connections there. Um, yeah, I think in Game of Thrones, what it does a great job of is establishing power and establishing strength, right? We have a lot of strong people in Game of Thrones that don't have power, right? And we have a lot of powerful people in Game of Thrones that don't have strength. And how do you bridge the gap, right? And I think Game of Thrones does a great job of playing with the two. But obviously, in that world, power is way more effective and way more important. So uh, I like the Usopp moment. I think selfishly, I want more. Selfishly, and I think he could play a part in this battle dividing war or this world dividing battle. But Usopp isn't honorable, I think. But the thing is, in his speech, he said, "Not here." Like Usopp understands his faults and his shortcomings, but even in the midst of his diatribe, he's saying, "I'm not going to do it here." Usopp is going to go back and revert to who he was post Elbaf because that's who he is. However, he's resolved himself to not be that in Elbaf. I respect it. I rather like that. And I love the fact that there is the acknowledgement of such too. Whereas like, nah, I'm not gonna do that, yo. I'm not gonna do that. So, um, let me put my foot in the shoes of an Usopp stan. This is probably a very, very pleasant moment for them. For me, this is a good moment. This is a good moment. This isn't a last stand Usopp moment. This is an Elbaf brave warrior defining moment for me. This wouldn't be enough for me for what I want of Usopp. So I want more. This is a great start. Great start. Great speech. Um, I think it's just development. He wants to be a brave warrior of the sea, so development is required, especially in an arc like this. Development is mandatory, especially in Elbaf. So this moment was, I mean, you know, inevitable. But is this the moment? Is this the moment that we're going to look back on Elbaf saying, look at Usopp and what he did there? There has to be something else. There has to be something else. Now, my seinen brain is saying Usopp sacrifices himself and he dies here in Elbaf and becomes like a warrior known for saving Elbaf and saving the world because of what he does here. One Piece is telling me Usopp just gets really hurt to protect Elbaf in some way. I don't know how, but we need a moment where I think Usopp is championed as the hero of Elbaf. Uh, hmm. Nami's ulti moment versus this moment. Nami's ulti moment moved me more because why did Nami's ulti movement move me more? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think Oda kills any strides. I don't think so. That'd be too painful. I think that'd be too pain. Honestly, that'd be too painful for me as well. I think because of what the story's been set up, how it's been set up so far, if Oda killed a straw hat, whoo. Yeah, I'm not if I'm not ready for something like that, I know Oda isn't. I think Nami's moment with ulti, I don't know if it was more setup, but we saw that they were fighting against Page One and ulti. That was their goal. That was their role. That's what they were trying to do. Then they got beat, and in the midst of death, she said, basically, Luffy's gonna be the Pirate King, right? And she can't go against that way of thinking. And I think in that moment, it was okay, I get it. I get it. Nami understood what was on the line. Meaning Nami was okay with dying after that. Not saying Usopp isn't in this moment. I just don't think Usopp understands what he's up against. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Usopp is aware of what he's up against. Now, you could say Usopp, it doesn't matter for Usopp because we're in Elbaf and it's just his honor is on the line here. But Nami was prepared. Nami's prepared and she full and well knew the consequences and she was okay with that. But she could not renounce her captain. So you feel like the Nami moment was forced? I disagree. I disagree. And the thing is, the Nami moment is not about it feeling earned because it's not really anything to be earned. It's just about how she feels through the struggles and through their journey so far. So those are different moments in general, but this Usopp moment is great. Is good. We just need I think we're gonna get more. That's all. What about Brook and Whole Cake Island? No, that's the thing. Where Brook is it's mindset, and I think the the W's that we have with Brook, it's always figuring out a way. Even in the midst of a loss, how can we win? Right? How can we win? And I think Brook coming through with Big Mom standing again in the face of what it was, just standing up and throwing those bars out there, then also being the one to break the photo, getting away with the rubbing. I think it's just figuring out a way, and that's what Brook has been known for, so far. For Nami, I think for Nami, it's just a loyalty thing, and I think a lot of us One Piece fans, because we've been following the story for so long, we kind of stood with her like, nah, we not about to say that. We not about to say that. And I think why would Alti spear her over a single line? I think for Alti, there's more that we got to learn about Alti and her character to kind of really dissect why she chose that specific line to spare her life. But I don't think we have a full grasp of the relationship that she has with Kaido. And also I don't think we have a full grasp of Alti's character yet. So I think it's just, however you feel about how Alti feels about Kaido, about how she looks up to him, the affinity there, father figure, whatever. But it's not enough to piece you know a rock solid theory together. Um, that's the thing, New Haven. I think knowing someone's loyal, but seeing the loyalty play out means something. Yeah, New Haven, your girl loyal, but if Chris Brown pull up on her, what's she doing? You see her reject Chris Brown, you gonna feel a different level of damn. So I think we knew Nami was loyal, but seeing it, yeah. Okay, but who's holding the sword in the Colin panel? Let me go back to that. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, who is that? Is that supposed to be Brogy or Dory? Yeah, it feels like it makes sense for it to be Dory. Yes, yeah. Seeing is believing. Seeing you having it, you understand it though, right? You understand it though. I would have appreciated Nami's moment more if we saw the build up to it. I think that's another thing. Everything doesn't need build up. That's just how I look at it. It's almost like how somebody says, "Oh, this storyline never went anywhere. This person wanted this dream and it didn't achieve it." Everybody ain't gonna achieve their dreams, and everything that's set up doesn't have to have a satisfying outcome, right? So I think with the Nami moment, I think it was set up enough for me. All Giants are saying, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Before this chapter, because it's fresh in my head, before this chapter, gun to my head, if you ask me to pick out the difference between Dory and Brogy, man, I might have been cooked, y'all. I might have been cooked, man. No, the Usopp moment, I could say I can understand that it could have been more built, more built up, but I think what's gonna happen is the anime is gonna expound upon it. I think the anime is gonna show more of what happened between Brook and Emu, and I think the anime is gonna flesh it out a bit more. Which so yeah, it's like it kind of just is what it is. But I think how you feel is valid. How you feel is valid. I think a lot of times people have a concern, and other people say, "Why are you worried about that?" Because they are, you know. Nah, facts, Brian. Facts. Dory and Brogy, essentially, they're the same character. They're the same character. So, like, knowing the difference between them is unnecessary. Spicy went to the manga should be good on its own. I think yes, but I think we got to look at One Piece as an anomaly. What chapter is this? Chapter 1177, y'all. This ain't normal. So I think normal rules just doesn't apply. So some things are gonna get, you know, shortened and kind of pushed to another medium. Yeah, I think there's always room for critique. I think I think even people that make suggestions on how things should be different have to also look at the aspect of you're basically stepping on somebody else's shoulders to, you know, as far as how things will be better. Um, but I think critique is needed though. Like, but I think it's a difference between critique and complaining, uh, or even hate watching. Right? I think a lot of that happens where, and it's tough because I feel like there are people that at this point kind of checked out, just here to see the end, and you kind of feel it. But I thought chapter was good. Thought chapter was good. Uh, it's one of those necessary chapters. Usopp's moment was great. Y'all know how I feel about the Giants. I love them, but you know, I say like a marriage. That's crazy. Just seeing it through to the end. Just see who's gonna die first. If Oda somehow uses this moment to humble Loki, uh, I think the general sentiment is Loki should be one of the strongest characters of all time. I don't know if Loki gets humbled here, if it's necessarily a bad thing because what Oda has to establish is this endgame character in Emu. So I mean, we may have some interesting discussions if Luffy looks as impressive as Loki versus Emu, or even more impressive. However, we got to keep in mind that Luffy does have a devil fruit that some may say, some people have speculated to be a counter. Loki's going to have to shrink down to hybrid mode to make this at least an aesthetically feasible chapter or possible. Like fighting Emu that being that large whilst having a partner doesn't make sense. Um, so Luffy wasn't mad enough for you. I'm not gonna lie. Oda drew Gear 5 really adorable this chapter. I don't know why, but Gear 5 looked adorable this chapter. Luffy looked adorable. I don't know that now. That moment probably feels a lot different in the anime. Yeah, I know I'm saying the anime will a lot, but yeah, man. No sound. Wait, what? I don't know. Luffy's mad. Usopp's dumbass took himself out. I mean, yeah, but you know, yeah, that moment with Usopp. I mean, Luffy and Ragnar is adorable. Uh, next chapter should be explosive though, and I think next chapter we probably could get a lore dump about what this battle means and what this battle has meant throughout time. Because right now it's Nika and Nidhogg versus Emu, right? Sniper Gang Sunku says Dookie and Buki still trash. They got slimed in the live action manga in the same week. I mean, but we know they get slimed in the in the live action. That's part of the story. Yeah, I think we get a Emu showcase next chapter because Emu doesn't even look worried. Emu is saying, "Yo, like, submit, bruh. Submit." I want Emu to really talk to Luffy. Um, I think we could. I don't know if we get a full flashback, just because we've already had a flashback, a major long flashback this arc. But I think we can get like a quick, Yeah, I can see like a quick glance to like Joy Boy and what it was, what it looked like back then. Said Kaido and looked worried either. I that's different. That's different. I don't think at that point Luffy gave Kaido anything to be worried about. With this one, we know this isn't the final battle between these two. So I ain't gonna lie. I remember that Kaido chapter. I thought that Kaido. I didn't think Kaido was defeated. I was like, here we go, here we go. He's coming back. So yeah, Kaido was handling everybody. So everybody's acts everybody acts tough until they face to face with a big Nidhogger. Yeah. Yeah, Kaido decided to take the punch. It's just it was super anime, which comes with the territory. But yeah, Luffy did come back hella times. I thought Kaido was going to come back. I did not think that was the end of Kaido. I think Kaido is the most impressive character in One Piece. I was super impressed with Kaido. I think as disappointed as some people were with Wano and some things that played out in Wano, I think Kaido absolutely lived up to the hype of the strongest creature. Um, but yeah, but yeah, but yeah, but yeah, but yeah. Um, we do got to talk. We do have to talk. Got to talk to y'all about just the future of what's going to be happening on the channel. To be honest, not right now, but probably later. We'll talk and have conversations about plans, and if the guys want to jump in, the guys can jump in, and we can talk about it. Your chat. What'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you say? Oh, Ratatouille and Usopp are together now. Just saying, if Usopp manages to wield Ragnar, then that's the moment. then I'm good with that. Then I'm good with that. Like if Usopp wields Ragnar and they somehow have a moment where Usopp gets the final hit in using Ragnar, and Ragnar, it'll be funny if Ragnar has some affinity or connection with Usopp, and Ragnar, I'm cool with that. It's a Brago D Hollywood. um, that's funny. That's funny. I think it's good news. I think it's good news, but it's changed, so it might be bad. But even then, it's not. You know. But yeah, good chapter. Good chapter. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'll be back later to talk to the guys. So everyone else gets a permanent buff, and this nigga gets a temporary buff just for a moment. Don't give that nigga anything ever again. I just think the bro. All right, with what you call it, with Frankie, which as much potential as Frankie has, we will never ever see Frankie's full potential. We will never ever see Frankie's full potential because it is not Frankie's story. Frankie has the potential based on this chapter, based on Vegapunk, based on the Ancient Kingdom, to be the strongest character in One Piece or the most dangerous character in One Piece at worst. Like if Frankie turned on the world and he decided to do some Frankie is a problem, but we will never see it. That's just not what the story is. So I think in general, like somebody like Usopp doesn't need to be more than he is. Only thing I want Usopp to be better at is sniping. Give him moments where he shows how accurate he is. Just give him those moments every now and again. Just give him those moments every now and again where it's just observation, saving crewmates, insane shots. That's all. Chapter's that. No, the chapter's good, Nudie. Chapter's good. Chapter's good. Chapter's good. Pluton blueprints. I think just his general structure makes me think that he will be able to use green blood, where he can use different forms of green blood if he wanted to recreate the green blood, use a different green blood depending on the circumstance. I think he could elevate himself even to the body type of a seraphim, where he now incorporates Lunarian DNA. Frankie has an insane limitless potential, and that doesn't even get to like the conversion of energy. I think a next energy that Oda's introduced, but I think he's gonna elevate it to the forefront is ancient energy, and I think ancient energy is gonna be the ultimate form of energy. And I think if Frankie with the converters, and if that's a part of his bag where the conversions are happening within him, where now he's combining not only ancient energy but different devil fruit powers and creating his own types of energy. And I mean, yeah. And again, he has an ancient weapon where he could build, where he can turn his body into an ancient weapon. So it's limitless with Frankie, but it's just a it's kind of like Nico Robin, you know, Nico Robin with hockey and different types of hockey, absolutely nuts. So you know, and even we're seeing it a bit in the live action with Nico Robin. She could be way more devastating if she wanted to, you know. I think Jinbei's fine. It's just I mean, I don't think it matters. I saw like it was something on Twitter the other day. It said who's the strongest out of these. I think it was 6 people. I think it's Whitebeard, Luffy, Kaido, Big Mom, Shanks. And here's where my brain is. My brain immediately went to what arc is it and what's the objective? I didn't even think of, oh, Kaido has da da da. I'm like, what arc is it and what is the objective? Then I'll tell you who's the strongest out of all these characters. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, rhythms, I don't think having access to it or never showing it, I don't think it's any difference. It does. I mean, it doesn't make a difference to me. It's like one having access to it permanently and one never, one only having access to it based on specific arcs. They are who they are, in my opinion. I think Jinbei downplays solely based on how he looks. I think Jinbei is just luxury. Jinbei is like having heated seats for the driver's seat and the passenger seat, but you're single. And so like you don't really need the heated seats in the passenger seat. I mean, every now and again when you get a passenger, sure, but like in general, you know, so it's a luxury item. So Shanks winning all of them. Yeah, it's context. How you liking JoJo Part 4? Can't wait till Part 7. JoJo Part 4 is my favorite part so far. Like easily. My favorite part so far. I think I enjoy just the more it's not as big. Right? The goal is not as big. It's very, very simple. It's not as grandiose. And I think just the simple nature and aspect of just like we're in Morio and we're trying to find a serial killer that and we don't know who the serial killer is. I think that aspect of it is fantastic. It gives more time for character development. They're even using part 4 to develop or to continue to develop older characters from the other parts. So yeah, part 4 is easily my favorite. Is Jotaro still mine? Yeah, Jotaro is still my favorite JoJo so far. Just K is cool though. Just K is cool. But actually, it's close again between Joseph and Jotaro. Yeah, it's very contained. It's pretty much a well, it's a who done it in a JoJo esque way, right? It's a who done it in the most JoJo esque way possible that only JoJo can do it. Whereas like I know who done it, but who done it? Um, so do you like Kira or Dio more so far? I mean, I like well, huh? Dio is just hmm. Dio is more over the top, right? Dio is more over the top. We just we met Kira like I want to say we met Kira, right? We met Kira and we lost Kira. That's all I say. We met if you know, you know. We met Kira and we lost Kira. So that's where we are. Uh do I like I okay. I'll say this, right? That's a crazy thing to say. I can't say that. Okay, I'll say this. Kira is more my speed when it comes to a villain. But Dio is hilarious. Dio is petty, and Dio is uh is strong as hell. Kira, he's methodical. He's patient. He's lucky, but I love Kira. We met Rohan. Rohan is hilarious. Rohan is hilarious. Dragon Ball. Oh my gosh, y'all. Dragon Ball Z. Um, yeah, that boy is collecting fingernails for years and have them labeled. Kira is weird. Um, Dragon Ball Z. We are. Frieza just came back to Earth with his pops, and I had completely forgotten about this point, about this part of the story. And I was like, yo, Frieza comes back? I'm like, Frieza? Why the hell is Frieza? And then I remembered um like why Frieza comes back, right? Uh and, and so then where I actually am, that boy Trunks. That boy Trunks pulls up, catches some bodies, you know what I'm saying? Catches some bodies real quick. And then after that, I went and watched the episode of Trunks or the history of Trunks. And then the bro, they did my boy Gohan. So that's where we are. That's where we are. And I think I'm gonna watch Cooler's Revenge as well. So it's gonna be like that. Those episodes, like 2 episodes after that, and then episode of Trunks, Cooler's Revenge. Then we're gonna get back to the DBZ story. So yeah, that's where we at. That's where we at, and we are cooking, boy. Oh my god, I ain't gonna lie. Trunks was ass in the history of Trunks. He was ass, but high key, I low key blame Gohan for even losing his arm in the history of Trunks, because Trunks could even turn Super Saiyan, and then Gohan brings him to fight the androids. Like it's like a take your kid to school day. I'm like, nigga, what are you doing? Right? What are you doing, bro? And so he took Trunks to fight the androids. And then after taking Trunks to fight the androids, loses his arm, recovers, and then he goes to fight them off by himself again, which I'm not mad at him going to fight them. Somebody had to stand up to him, and Gohan just being, who he is. But just like, why the hell would he take? No, he was tough. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he was cool. Like, even when he went to fight him with one arm, he was doing a good job. But like, when these niggas locked in, and I don't know which android I like more, but I'm leaning 17. I'm leaning 17. Because 17 in a way knows how to have a good time, but low-key 18 always tries to rain on his parade. And listen, I love Future Gohan, just some missteps. Because he took it on himself to train Trunks. And the whole point of training Trunks was to, was for him to get stronger to fight the androids. I guess the whole point of it was to try to make Trunks strong enough so that he can turn Super Saiyan while he's fighting the androids. But yeah. The androids are amazing. 17 now, I think I'm leaning 17, bro. I think I'm leaning 17. I did like how they portrayed Gohan in the special though. Like he had this intense look at all times to him, but like he knew how to like be warm as well. That's my favorite special. I ain't gonna lie. So yeah. A lot of pleasant pleasant and like unexpected emotions from the history of Trunks that I've forgotten about. So Dragon Ball Z is really, really at an amazing place right now. What's up, Froby? How you feeling, man? How you feeling, man? How you feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling? I'm doing good, man. We just wrapped up the chapter. Good chapter, good stuff. Next week should be electric. There's one thing though. There's one thing I don't like about what's going on. Because y'all know I'm watching the dub. Vegeta's voice actor is now different, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know if Bulma was trying to fuck Gohan, but because like that would be so weird considering Bulma saw Goku grow up. You know what I'm saying? Another thing I don't like about what Dragon Ball Z does is they make Chi-Chi look older than Bulma. And Chi-Chi is so annoying. Oh my god, Chi-Chi's so annoying. They got Chi-Chi just looking like an old lady, bro. I don't like that. No. I don't know who the voice actor is now. I don't know who the voice actor is for Vegeta right now, but it's just but nah, Dragon Ball Z is amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, listen, bro. In the episode though, I thought it's crazy how disrespectful Bulma was in front of Yamcha. Cause Vegeta pulled back up before Vegeta pulled back up, she was like, "Oh, where's Vegeta? He went away. Is he still in space?" And Yamcha like, "Why the hell you care about where he at?" And he pulled up, and then she's like, "Oh, we need to go take a shower." I'm like, "Yamcha, you gotta nip this in the bud right now, my boy." But yeah, Chi-Chi became so annoying. Like, and it's like I understand wanting your son to be better and be in school and all that shit, but it just became her entire character. And I'm like, it struck me because I'm like, bro, Chi-Chi, you're younger than Bulma. I'm like, they got her acting like an old lady and looking like an old. I'm like, but you know, good stuff though. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Love it. Love it. Love it. But yeah, back later for a convo. So we just talk about some plans, etc., etc., and yeah, Chi she doesn't feel younger than Bulma at all. It's just ugh. And then, bro, it's filler. But Chi brought in the tutor to tutor Gohan, and she had this nigga beating his ass. And then he basically called Gohan slow in front of her. I'm like, Chi, you don't kick this nigga out the house. She didn't even kick him out after that. It got to the point where he was basically calling Goku a deadbeat, where she finally physically threw him out of the house. And then when he said he's going to sushi, she went to try to beat his ass. But I'm like, bro, what? It's filler though. It's filler. It's filler. But yeah, obviously, loving Dragon Ball Z right now. But yeah, y'all. I'll catch y'all later, man. Teddy, my guy, how you been, G? Pull up later if you can, man. Pull up later if you can. But yeah, I'll talk to y'all later, man. Y'all be safe.